So guys, what's the task? Web 3.0, we have moved in this direction, and this thought should always be kept in mind. What do we need to do? As we told, we need resources, we need traffic, we need storage, and how can we do it? Because we really need it. In order for the products to function, we need to solve the problems that we talked about at the very beginning. Can you remember, guys? About problems within the product. Now we are starting to close this problem piece by piece, and we can solve the hyperemission problem thanks to fair and professional interest on staking. And the next moment is getting resources. How can we do this? We will talk more about creating products before we discuss bonus percentages for stakes. Let's talk about Web 3.0 a bit too. Now it is a very complex development, not only for our developers, but for everyone as well, and there is very blurry pricing, and I will explain now so you can understand. If we take, for example, our direct competitor Filecoin, which provides decentralized storage as their main product, and their consensus system itself consists in distributing storage, and we'll show it too. In other words, the one who distributes more storage has bigger opportunity to sign a block. Our consensus still stays the same. We cannot change anything, and under such conditions, we will not be able to join the Cosmos system. And at the same time, we don't have a clear pricing between the distributor and the recipient. And pay attention, guys, because it's a very important point. The person who is distributing the storage now and the person who uses the storage don't have a direct connection. That is, the system cannot directly reward for a certain amount of consumed storage or traffic, for example. Well, I can also give an example. Imagine a situation where you distribute 100 gigabytes to someone and someone bought them, and you don't directly receive funds for this. The transfer of funds become a very long and unprofitable process. In Android 1.0, we had it all interconnected. Everything was based on tariff and so on, and we know very well how it all worked out. Everything was related to tariffs and so on, and all distributors went from there as a reward for those people who hand out the storage. That is, I repeat once again that there was no direct connection, and creating this direct pricing is very difficult. That is, if we take Filecoin, not the Filecoin. Well, let's take a store, for example. Seriously, you know what is worth editing? In general, there is no normal thing on the Web 3.0 product market and reasonable price. And in general, the development is still difficult. Yes, in the main things, Web 3.0 technologies are cheaper, but in development, they are much more expensive. That is, it is an expensive development. The product cannot be expensive because people from Web 2.0 servers will be transferred to Web 3.0, and it means that the problem isn't in Artery 1.0, but the problem is that the Web 3.0 market is still in its infancy. In general, there is still no decent price and the market is not fully adopted yet. And yes, so far there is no clear relationship between the giver and receiver. So far there is no synchronization in the connection due to the development difficulties. And there is no fixed price either. It is only known for sure that the person who will use it will consume this decentralized product, and they should be more profitable in terms of money than what is already been existing on the market. Therefore, the guys from the Filecoin and other developers are trying somehow to find a solution to this situation. What is the main point? We have the answer in Artery 2.0. That is, the solution to this problem is obvious, no direct pricing. I repeat once again, there is no connection reached between the one who gives and the one who receives. But in Artery 2.0, we came up with the following solution: increasing of APY. Now we will show you. We can increase this by distributing resources. This is the second very important point. We called it boosts. In a word, you use the resources of a company, and for the promotion, you get APY. That is, you get an additional percentage of staking. What does it mean, Serежа? Don't you mind if I explain why there are different percentages down and up? Sure. Only, Artyom, please try to do it in understandable human language. Well, I will try to make it in a simple way. Imagine you have 20,000 coins and you want to buy a computer in order to rent out a certain amount of gigabytes to increase your APY. And you have invested a small amount of funds and your income isn't as large as you would like. Out of 20,000 coins, in addition, you receive approximately 200 coins per month. If the same percentage is given to a person who has 200,000 coins, for example, 1% will greatly excel. So we get an imbalance. First, it will have a negative impact on emission that a wallet with 200,000 or maybe someone has a wallet with a million or two or three or five and will produce a huge percentage compared to other members. And we will create strong whales with our own hands. For them, of course, it's good, but for the rest of the participants in the ecosystem, this will be a negative scenario. That's why we have reduced the percentage for those who have more than 200,000, thereby averaging. This gives a balance of resources. Both of us, for example, have 20,000 coins, someone has 200,000 coins. We are both giving away the same memory on the same computer for the same price, but at the same time, we get equal rewards depending on the staking. Well, guys, please put a plus if everything was clear and minus if something wasn't clear for us to explain in more details. In what follows, we will consider this issue in more detail. Thinking, I remember what we're talking about next. Well, I want to summarize this point a little. Percentages per month, that is, we have a different percentages of staking per month, up to 50, up to 200 and over 200. We have an additional percentage for staking if you give away a resource. That is, if you look back, you remember that the base percentage up to 200,000 is 3%, and you can increase it. Give a resource and you will receive it in return. Let me explain again why the percentage is different, what Artyom said, because it's important that big wallets don't create hyperemission. Therefore, in mathematical modeling, when we show you how it works, you will see everything. And you can't do that. It's impossible to make even 0.85% for holders for 200,000 because if we enter only tens, I mean when we add it, then in the progression of the community and the quantity of coins and at the end we're going to have Lena who will stop us and say, wait a second. Look, in one word, we have a large number of people who have small stakes, from 50 to 100,000, relatively speaking. And if we encourage a large number of coins, we will encourage them to give storage. Companies in the community as a whole will be pleased. If we are going to motivate very large stakes, which will approximately only 100 people from the community have, then there will be no progression. And we will receive 1,000 terabytes instead of giving a percentage to small wallets and get a million terabytes. Yes. Do you understand the essence and logic? I want to add to that a little bit. We have many moments and nuances. What is numbers and so on will be explained in the next slides. A moment that can no longer be repeated is distribution of less than 300 gigabytes. Whatever this bonus is not activated, we'll learn more on later. I understand. Let's label it now. To get such a percentage, you need to share at least 300 gigabytes. There was a question in the chat, does the amount of memory matter? So if less than boost will not switch on, if more than, it means that you did such a great job, guys. At the moment, we cannot make fractional rewards. Look, boost is turned on, APY is additionally turned on when there are more than 300 gigabytes, not less. And giving away more than 300 gigabytes, you get dependent on the numbers of coins in your wallet. Additional interest per year, 6, 9, 12 per annum. And we received another very interesting question in the chat. I would also like to answer it in details. We will not return to this topic further. The amount of storage doesn't affect the percentage increase. Why does it happen in such way? At this point in this time, it is important for us to collect the quantity, not the amount of storage, but the number of nodes. That is, to make our network distributed, decentralized with a number of devices. Less is too small, more is good for you if you give out more, but our main goal is to find a golden mean and make sure there are more devices that distribute storage given this motivation. At the moment, if you give away 1 terabyte, then we don't have conditions yet. We will explain this in detail later. So far, there are no conditions to encourage if you give away more than 200 gigabytes, but I'm sure it will be shown
У нас больше
over time.
нет
There are
мобильных
already
нод.
models in development,
То есть
and we
мы
no
от
longer
этого
have
ушли.
mobile
Это
nodes.
тоже
We have
нововведение,
moved away
которое
from this. This is also
очень...
an
Почему?
innovation. Why?
Да? Ну,
Firstly,
во-первых,
it
это
is not
неэффективно,
effective,
потому
and there are
что
constant
постоянно, в общем,
malfunctions. There
сбросы,
is no
там, дисбаланс
balance
там, по поводу,
and problem with
ну, в общем,
IP
сеть обрывается и
and
так далее.
many other
Да,
technical
IP, там очень
problems that
много,
we
на
leave
самом деле,
no
таких
chance.
деталей технических, которые, ну, просто
We need
не
to
оставляют
take
шансов,
this
да, нам нужно это
away. We
убирать.
need more
А,
stable,
Нам нужно более
incomplete
стабильные
nodes to
неполные
be.
ноды, чтобы были, а, соответственно, они должны быть
Accordingly,
на
they
компьютерах.
must be
Так,
on
ребят, вы во
computers. And
внимании?
guys,
Нет?
is there paying attention?
Смотрю.
Yes,
Ну,
judging
судя
by
по камерам,
cameras, for
очень.
sure.
Ну, вы что-то вообще все
Everybody
выключили.
has switched off cameras.
Нет, ты в
No,
иллюзии.
you're
Ты в
just sitting in
иллюзии.
illusion. Well,
Хорошо.
okay.
Ладно. Все, для того,
In
чтобы
order for the
сработал
boost
буст,
to work,
для того, чтобы
for the
сработала
history
вот
of
эта
the
история
additional
дополнительного
resource,
ресурса,
additional
дополнительный
taken to
стейкинг, нужен
work,
будет только тариф.
we will need an
Итак,
additional tariff.
раньше делегатор
Previously, the
получал доход
delegator
только за
received
доверие
income only
средств.
from the trust of the
Сейчас у
funds.
нас,
What
получается,
has changed now?
теперь,
He can
да, он
now
может
trust
доверить еще
his
и свои
resources
ресурсы.
as well. This
Вот
is
какая
such a
такая
cool
классное нововведение.
innovation
За VPN
for
и за
VPN
гигабайт.
and
По VPN
gigabytes.
тоже сейчас.
Я хочу сказать,
I
что
want to
вот
say
почему
why
ценится,
Bitcoin
например,
is
вот тот же
valued that
биткоин.
much.
Очень
For
много
example,
средств
a lot of
вкладывается,
money
и
is
люди
invested there, and
ну,
people
продавать
aren't
его
ready to
дешевле,
sell it
чем они
cheaper than they
затрачивают
spend on
электроэнергию, покупки
electricity,
видеокарт и так
buying
далее.
video cards,
У нас
etc.
появляется тоже
And we
своеобразный
also
такой
have, it might
офф-майнинг,
be said, of mining,
своеобразный, опять
a
же,
kind of
повторюсь. То
mining.
есть ты тратишь
When you
ресурсы,
spend your
и
resources,
ты
the
иначе
value of
ценишь монету
coin
за это.
for you becomes higher.
Конечно, да.
Oh, of
Ты
course.
продашь дешевле,
And you will
чем
not
она
sell for
купит твои
less than
вложенные
it pays
усилия.
for your investment.
Вот, здесь вы
Now
увидите,
you
да,
will
что
see
мы сейчас
everything.
говорим про
Now we are
гигабайты,
talking
про
about
VPN, собственно,
gigabytes, we
тоже
will talk
скажем.
about VPN further,
Раздача
and
ресурсов
distribution
равно
of resources
дополнительно обычный
equals
RTF.
additional
А
mining
что
of
будет с
RTM. What
эмиссией,
will
если
happen
все
to the
начнут
emission
раздавать?
if
Это
everyone
вопрос,
starts
который
giving
поставил
out?
нас
This
в
is the
тупик
question that has
и
puzzled
погрузил на
us
еще
and
неделю
plunged another
в
weekend
различные
with various
расчеты.
calculation. It was quite challenging,
Это вот
guys.
такая вся история была. И
And
мы
we
даже
even got
испугались, мы подумали,
scared. We
что ну
even
все,
hesitated
идея
and
не
assumed
рабочая.
that our
Вопрос,
idea
а
wouldn't
что
work.
будет,
And
если
question, what
все будут
happens if
раздавать?
everyone starts giving
Много,
away?
тысячи
Many,
людей
for
будут
example,
раздавать. Что
thousands of
будет с
people will
эмиссией?
distribute. What will
За
happen
счет
to
того, что у нас
emission? Due to the
система
fact that our
балансная,
system is balanced, we have
саморегуляция есть, которую мы
self-regulation,
дальше вам
which we
скажем
talk
во
about
второй
on the
день.
second day.
Получилась очень
It turned
красивая
out
картинка.
to be a very nice picture.
На примере
On this
файлкоина сейчас
basis
вам
of
расскажем. Вы
Filecoin, I'll
смотрите,
tell you
файлкоин
now,
это прямой наш
Filecoin is our
конкурент.
direct competitor.
У
And
него на
at the
данном
moment,
этапе
it has
сейчас
18
18 XB памяти.
bytes of
То
memory.
есть это
That is
18
18
миллиардов
billion
гигабайт у
gigabytes.
них уже
They
есть
already have as a
как
resource
ресурс
to
для
use.
использования. То есть они
And
это
that
могут
is,
давать.
they can give it,
Но там
but
есть
there are
очень
nuances in
такие
terms of
тонкие вещи
security
в
which
плане
are now
безопасности,
repulsive
которые
to
очень
many
многих
on the
сейчас на рынке
market,
отталкивают. О
which we
которых
will
мы
talk
потом
about later.
расскажем, если нужно
At
будет.
the
Может быть,
AMA
лама-сессии, если вы
session,
вопрос
who will be
зададите, развернем
interested,
этот
we will
момент.
tell you everything in detail. And
Теперь дальше
let's look
смотрим.
further.
Полтора
A
года
year and a
назад
half
примерно
ago, there were
было где-то
about 1
около 1
billion
миллиарда
gigabytes.
мегабайт. То есть 1
That
эксбибайт
is, it
был у
was approximately
файлкоина.
1 exabyte for
То есть и
Filecoin,
в тот
and
момент
even
они
at the
были уже
moment they were
очень-очень-очень
very
интересные.
interesting.
1
И
And
уже
pay
экзобайт
6 лет.
attention to the fact
и им уже 6
that
лет.
they are already 6 years old,
Это
and
наш
this is our
самый
biggest
большой прямой
direct
конкурент. Ни у кого
competitor.
нет больше
No one else
памяти,
has
чтобы вы
such a great
понимали.
storage.
1 миллиард
1
гигабайт,
billion
то есть 1
gigabytes, which is
эксбибайт,
equal for
это
1
очень
exabyte,
хороший
is a
показатель,
very good
достигнув
indicator.
который
Having
мы
reached
уже,
which we are
ну,
no
можем
longer going to
не то чтобы приоткрывать двери,
try
да,
freely
ну, можем
open the door,
заходить уже
but
достаточно
we are able
уверенно.
to enter in quite
При этом,
confidently.
что
At the
будет у
same
нас с
time, what
эмиссией?
will happen
Лена,
with emission?
разверни,
Lena,
пожалуйста, этот
explain in
момент.
detail, please, this moment.
Человек-эмиссия.
Our emission woman.
Человек-эмиссия.
Well,
Студия.
emission woman is
Три
turned.
аргумента,
3
почему
arguments
мы этого
why
перестали
we have
бояться
stopped to be
после
afraid of
расчета.
it after
Первый
calculation, of
аргумент,
course.
что
The
3
first
миллиона
argument, 3 million
неполных нод,
incomplete
3
nodes,
миллиона
3 million
пользователей, это, в
users
принципе,
is a
очень
very
даже
good, high goal. This is a very large number of people. Why 3 million? 1 billion gigabyte in the worst case if everyone will give only 300 gigabytes is a little more than 3 million incomplete nodes. If someone distributes more, then there will be less than 3 million incomplete nodes. We also need to calculate the worst case scenario. And first, 3 million is a very large crowd. We are not against such a large community. Secondly, all this number of people, 3 million incomplete nodes, they will not be able to extract only from the distribution. Why does it work like this? This is exactly the moment that scared us when we started modeling calculations. If these 3 million people had wallets of 100,000, it would be a disaster. That is, 100,000, each of them earns a percentage for the distribution, hyperemission, and again death and problem, but 3 million wallet of 100,000 is 33 billion, despite the fact that we can only have 4. That is, it is a limitation in emission that gives a situation that we calculated automatically. It is impossible to get more than 1 million for distribution. This million will split all incomplete nodes. Accordingly, the more of them and less each will receive, but in general the situation is the same. The next argument, which I will mention now, has assured us completely. For resources distribution, you need to pay a tariff. If all these 3 million people will pay a tariff that has a different cost, this is a bit of a spoiler. I will tell you about it later. That will be $66 million. That is, the demand for the point is $66 million per month. If we have a very critical situation, everything get out of control and we got 80 millions in a month, then if these $66 million are divided by 80 million coins, the minimum rate will be 83 cents. Moreover, this rate going to be formed on base of this tariff payment. It doesn't include the demand for delegation and all the rest of the movement, reinvestment, debt wallets. That is a dry account, only tariff payment and emission. Well, let's stop there. Guys, summarizing this block, you have already seen and guessed, in order for boost for additional staking to work, payment of the tariff is an obvious condition, and we will definitely discuss the tariff in more details. It will open for us like a flower. It will be a very interesting story, and we wanted to say that the more we have, no, even we are not afraid of hyperemission, provided that everyone will distribute. It is an illusion, a fantastic thing that won't happen 100% or 99.9%, but even under such circumstances, it is still very close to the value of $1. And if we develop this idea, therefore, it is not a fear for us anymore, thanks to the tariff and the fact that there are balanced system inside it, which we will talk about later. It will be impossible for us to obtain hyperemission, and yet everyone will have a very satisfying rate. But additionally, I would like to say that, okay, I will get back to this a little bit later. Why do we end up with the ability for delegators easily to increase their APY? One click of the button increase your stake percentage, and we accumulate the necessary resources. Thanks to this, we've got kind of win-win, and we're accumulating the necessary resources. The cost payment for resources is incomprehensible and unstable. You may notice that people are having troubles with this now. Community didn't understand who gets how much for that. Now there is no clear understanding before. Why did a member receive one payment for a certain number of gigabytes and another for another number of gigabytes? Because there was no direct connection between the giver and receiver. This is what I told you earlier. And now, in fact, we have moved this problem aside of projects that work with similar processes are facing the same problem. And we moved it a little to the side and made a nice move. That is, we are not extracting resources and not even resources, but staking increases at the expense of resources. And now everyone can easily calculate their income. And the main condition is that there should be at least 300 gigabytes for distribution.
Сбалансированный и
Balance
справедливый
and
бонус. То
fair
есть в момент
bonus. At the
начисления
time of
вознаграждения система,
accrual
вот то,
of
что я сейчас
rewards, as I
сказал, да,
said, the
проверяет,
system checks
были ли
whether
вы
you have
включены
been
в
included in the
систему
system
не
for at
менее 20
least
часов,
20
и
hours,
при этом
and after
после этого
that,
она
it
прибавляет к
counts the bonus
вознаграждению бонусный
APY
оклад.
as a reward.
Главное, чтобы вы
The
были
main thing
в
is
сети.
that you're online.
Ну
Well,
здесь это мы уже
here we
развернули для
already
вас,
explained to you
почему
why
у
do we
нас
have a different percentage
разный
for
процент
different
для разных
wallets,
кошельков. Ну это опять
and there
то, что
would
мы
be a
говорили.
serious
Это
difference
серьезная
between the
была бы
first
разница
and the
между первым и
last.
последним в 4 раза.
Actually, four
Хотя
Да, то
times
есть
ресурсы
вот
with the
здесь
получаем
same
одни и те же.
resources.
да, разницу
Yeah, that's
показываем. То
right.
есть
The
такие
percentage do
проценты,
differ.
есть такие.
If we
Разница в
all do the same
35%, только
percentage,
если
it
мы
turns out to
добавляем
be
там 7 делаем
illogical
по
from the
одному
point of
проценту.
view of
Это нелогично с
tokenomics
точки
in
зрения
general.
токеномики вообще.